we being recorded? Has the message come up saying you're being recorded?
Yeah.
Right, cool. Good. So you're live on Channel 4. Don't say, oh, I won't say that. It'll be right at the beginning of the recording. Hello, good evening, and welcome everybody to the August Power Platform virtual happy hour. Lovely to have you. Thanks for not being on holiday like everybody else, or maybe you are on holiday and just joining us for fun. So this month we have some cracking content from Tricia, who's going to tell us about maximizing productivity on Omnichannel Engagement Hub. We've got Dian Taylor, who's going to show us how to build a bot in 15 minutes, a tall ask, I think. And Vannesa Welgemoed, who is going to talk us through how she transformed her career with the Power Platform. So I think we're all pretty excited to get started. Do we have any other slides to run through, Carlos, or is it straight into...
No, straight into Tricia, I think.
Straight into Tricia. So Tricia, are you ready for action?
I hope you're not going straight into me. That's a bit... Okay, hold on.
We are going straight into you, but I'll carry on talking and give you a bit of time to get your slides uploaded. How's the weather with everybody? It's been raining here all day today, but I'm just glad that I'm not burning my face off.
Oh, the good old weather, eh?
Oh, it's always about the weather, isn't it? It's like, are you even in Britain if you're not talking about the weather? Like, are you even British?
We should go back to worms, right?
Worm farm. Oh, somebody said that all their worms died. I think it was Ewan Simpson said all his worms died, which I didn't actually follow up on. I need to.
His worms died. It's a bit much. Okay.
Presumably, we're talking about some kind of worm farm setup. I hope. Otherwise, perhaps his worms dying is a good thing.
Sure. Okay, I'm ready.
Thanks, Tricia.
Overview of the Omnichannel Engagement Hub. I'm going to first of all start off by introducing myself. My name is Tricia Sinclair, and I am a D365 pre-sales solution architect from DXC. These are my social information. Feel free to reach out to me if you've got any questions regarding today's topic. So we've got 15 minutes, and in that 15 minutes, what I want to do is I want to provide a brief introduction to what the Omnichannel Engagement Hub is, and also talk about how it can be used to streamline and make the process for an agent or a customer more efficient. So I'm going to demonstrate the chat channel to you, kind of the chat channel-ish. I'm going to do it on a mobile to show you what that will actually look like. So what exactly is Omnichannel? Where does it fit into the customer service offerings provided by Microsoft? Let's start off by talking about back in the day. So back in the day, we had, CRM, and CRM was an amalgamation of all these different features. You know, we had marketing features, we had sales features, we had customer service features, and they were all on one product. And then Microsoft modularized these features. So we then had D365 sales, D365 marketing, we had D365 project service automation, we had, and we also have now D365 customer service. So D365 customer service now contains features that will enable an organization to provide a standard level of customer service to their customers. So it contains features such as your knowledge articles, your SLAs, your queue management and case management, right? And it's great. But when we actually talk about D365 customer service coupled with, agents or call centers, it is slightly lacking because it doesn't have some of the features that are necessary for a call center to be able to fully use this application in its entirety. Okay, so it can be used as a part of the solution, but it's not the full solution for a call center solution, right? So what I mean by that is, in a call center, naturally, some of the features that we'd need are obviously agent scripts. We would need the ability to have all the different systems together, so we can have a streamlined process as opposed to trying to toggle between all the different systems, which typically happens. We also need a way to maintain and manage the KPIs and route through to different agents based upon perhaps, the different skills that are coming through the different channels that they can come through on. So for example, your Facebook, your Twitter, etc. Customer service, however, doesn't actually enable us to do, to have that, because it doesn't have agent scripts as standard. It doesn't have any channels as standard, with the exception, of course, of the exchange integration coming into a case. You'll have to basically extend via an ISV. Now, we have the Unified Service Desk, which actually allows us to have, agent scripts, and also enables us to have the different applications that a call center agent might need to refer to, such as all the different systems that will allow them to have a holistic view of that customer or be able to service that customer. It enables them to have all of that handy within that one application, right, through multiple tabs. But it also enables us to have like a multi-session experience where I'm able to be on a different chat whilst I actually am on a phone call, whilst I might be, dealing with a customer's inquiry that they emailed in to us. So that provided that multi-sessioned, multi-tabbed experience. The Unified Service Desk also is based on it's a product that's installed on the machine. So you have to actually be at your desk in order to open it up and leverage it. But because it's also installed on your machine, it also meant that we're able to interact with other on-premise applications. So on-premise applications can be one of the applications or products that surfaced within USD. Now, USD is notoriously known for being a bit tricky to customize because it is quite involved, and it's quite special in the way that it has to be configured. So it's not been, it doesn't have the popularity effectively that it could have because it is actually very tricky to customize. Neil Parkhurst has some really, really good blogs and also a really useful USD accelerator should you actually want to utilize Unified Service Desk, because although it's tricky to customize, because it is so customizable, you can take it a lot further than any other tool that Microsoft actually provides. Now, the Omnichannel Engagement Hub, I like to call USD Lite. The Omnichannel Engagement Hub provides the same capabilities of the Unified Service Desk. Well, not the same, most of the same capabilities as the Unified Service Desk, but it is a cloud-based solution, which means that now I'm able to have call center agents actually do their jobs remotely, as opposed to needing to be on the machine that that my program is installed on. Also, on top of that, I am able to leverage out-of-the-box channels, unlike USD. So I am able to liaise or get channels or set up channels for Facebook or Twitter or other messaging services such as your WeChat, your Line, or your SMS. This is not something that USD has as standard. With USD, you'd have to use an ISV in order to interact or get that capability, right? But with Omnichannel Engagement Hub, we're now able to have the same functionality in terms of the multi-tabbed, multi-sessioned experience, and also utilize other features that are necessary within a call center, such as your agent scripts and your canned responses, etc. Okay, now both the USD and Omnichannel Engagement Hub actually leverage functionality that's a part of D365 customer service. So we're still dealing with, your standard SLAs, your case management functionality, your knowledge articles, etc. Okay, so they're built on top of that, and they all use those features. So it is. So let's have a look at what we're going to do in today's demo. We're going to demonstrate pretty much from 3 different areas or 3 different viewpoints, as a customer, as an agent, and also what the business is going to get out of it, get some feedback. So we're going to initiate the chat, we're going to initiate it from the mobile, we're going to go through and integrate with PVA to get some assistance. We're going to then go through to an agent, we're going to talk a little bit Spanglish, and then we're also going to, in terms of an agent, we're going to get notification about what the issue is about. We're going to utilize agent guidance to streamline the response, and then we're going to use pre-canned response responses to quickly respond to the customer before we get some tips from our Smart Assist integration. And then we're also going to utilize what's known as macros to shortcut the amount of steps to execute something. And then we're going to get a questionnaire sent out to the customer so we can get some feedback as a business. So let's start off by initiating a chat conversation from the mobile. It's going to, first of all, bring up what's known as a pre-chat questionnaire. Now, the pre-chat questionnaire really just enables the customer to populate necessary information that's going to enable an agent to know what the conversation is about. But it also enables us to direct or route the conversation through to a necessary team or queue, but also it enables us to identify who is initiating the contact with us. So it's automatically going to identify whatever we put in that name field, look for the appropriate account or contact. We can also make particular fields mandatory or not mandatory, and for GDPR purposes, specify if we're keeping a copy of this conversation. So the next thing it's going to do is it's going to be directed to a Power Virtual Agent bot. So it's a chat bot based on the Azure bot framework. More information about this can be seen, I think, within this actual session. Dian is going to be going through Power Virtual Agents. So have a look at that if you want to understand how it's built up and how easy it is to build. But the main purpose of this is to deflect away from an agent. Ideally, we only want to direct the more complicated cases or cases that actually require human intervention to that agent, right? So here, because I'm not paying council tax, we want to find out why. So we're going to direct this conversation to an agent who'll be able to take it further. So I'm now going to go through to the agent, and as you can see on the agent side, I'm getting the chat request. I can identify who the chat's coming from because of the pre-chat questionnaire. I've also got a chat reason, and that chat reason is coming in from the bot. And also the wait time, that's how long I have as an agent to answer this chat before it then gets sent to another agent. Now, if I don't answer it in time, what will happen is I'll get a prompt to let me know that I missed a chat. My status will be changed, and I'll have to reset my status in order to then take any further conversations. So now that I've accepted the conversation, there are three things that I want to draw attention to. Firstly, that the information, the conversation that I as a customer had with the bot is still actually visible to the agent. So I'm not coming in blind. I can actually see what was shared, so I can tailor my conversation to what has already been provided. I'm not repeating asking any questions, okay? On top of that, I can see the summary of the contact information, and I can actually see the summary of the conversation history. So that's the pre-chat questionnaires, the recent cases, the visitor details, etc. Now, there is something as well that I want to draw attention to. As I browse the mobile or the website on the mobile or the desktop, I'm clicking on different pages. Now, these pages are coming through via the chat as part of the portal navigation history. So this is allowing me to see where on the website did this customer browse to before they initiated a chat conversation. Okay. Now, the third thing that I want to draw attention to is the productivity pane on the right. This productivity pane holds the agent guidance and holds what's known as Smart Assist. So the agent guidance, firstly, is going to basically prompt me to specify, utilize quick reply. Now, quick reply is effectively what I call canned responses. Instead of manually typing out a long line of text, such as your direct debit guarantee or anything like that, I can actually have it as a pre-canned question, a pre-canned response that anyone can use. This also helps to streamline what agents are actually saying or information that agents are providing. Now, as you can see here, the pre-canned response when sent to the customer was sent out and translated, and this is real-time translation being provided by Omnichannel, integrating with either Bing translations or Google Translate. So we have the ability to utilize either translation service. So although I'm sending hello, the customer is going to receive it in another language. Now, I can also leverage what's known as slugs to utilize, to bring information in from other areas of D365 customer service. So in order to validate customer, for example, I can bring in the information directly from the contact without having to go to the contact record and validate that, yep, that is their date of birth and that is their address, and just mark that off before going to create a case. Now, when I create a case, I could create a case directly from the conversation record, yes, but it won't be pre-populated, whereas I'm able to leverage what's known as macros to create a case record pre-populated with the context of the conversation. So I can pre-populate the case title, the customer, where it came from, and what the chat is actually about, or what the case is actually about, enabling me to focus more on the actual issue at hand. So what I'll be able to do as a customer is populate or enter some text, basically just requesting that I have an appointment in my native tongue of Spanish, because I speak fluent Spanish. Now on the agent side, after a brief refresh of my screen, you'll be able to see that I have it translated to English directly from the customer's tongue of Spanish. What's known as Smart Assist is able to identify that actually I'm asking for an appointment. Now, what I now need to do is create said appointment, right? So here I'm asking for an appointment and I just need to click on create appointment. Similar to when I created the case, it's going to pre-populate, create a new appointment record pre-populated with all the information that's taken from the conversation, and allow me to basically continue servicing the customer. So it lessens the amount of work that an agent is going to need to do. Finally, once the conversation has ended, how do we actually get a response? How do we know how we did? Well, now we have a post-chat questionnaire. So we started with pre-chat questionnaire. This is a post-chat questionnaire utilizing customer voice, also known as Microsoft Forms Pro, or previously known as Forms Pro. So I've actually populated how I felt. We have the different types of, input types, and once submitted, this is then associated directly to the conversation. So just to go back to my slides, and again, if you've got any questions with regards to what I just showed, please reach out to me. These are my socials. I do like to blog about both Azure DevOps as well as Omnichannel. So any questions related to either, just feel free to reach out to me. And I really do thank you for your time today. I hope it was, the presentation was both enjoyable and educational. Thanks.
Very cool.
Did you pay the demo gods or not?
Actually, I didn't.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, I didn't.
That's
That
okay.
was awesome to see the real-time translation and stuff, though. That was really quite good.
Very cool. Good use of the word Spanglish as well, which was my favourite part of the whole presentation. So no questions from anybody? Nobody's raised a hand? Nobody's got anything to ask? No? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Let's have a round of applause for Tricia. Super duper. And then we move on very, very smoothly from. Oh, that's a lovely gift, Julia. I like that one. That's a winner. We move on to Dian Taylor, who's going to give us a whistle stop how to build a bot in 15 minutes. I'm ready with my klaxon.
That's going to be
2-minute warning. You get 2 minutes from the end. So
that's going to be tight. Thanks, Alice and Tricia. Great presentation. All right, my name is Dian Taylor.
I work for RSM as a director in TMC Business Applications. If you want to check out my blog, I write articles once a week, and I do YouTube videos once a week as well because I don't have a life. You can also follow me on Twitter at D365Goddess, or just connect with me on LinkedIn by scanning that big QR code you guys see on the screen. So I'm not going to have a lot of time, obviously, 15 minutes. And oops, I have my timer up and running. So we're going to dive right in. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you the end result first. And then I'm actually going to build this bot out. So that's going to be very, very interesting. So let's get started. I love Star Wars. Here we go. Let's see what we can do here with initiating this bot. Okay, so hello, my little Padawan. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. I hope all is well with you. How are you planning to use the Force? So let's go to the light side. And then it's asking me, why do you want to join the light side? I want to meet Yoda, hello, because he seems cool. And look at that. We got this beautiful picture coming up now. He is pretty cool. He is a pretty cool little green dude. We had lunch yesterday. Okay, now it wants me to pick a weapon. And you can see here I have a couple of options. I am going to go with the polka dot lightsaber. And then I can go ahead and pick a partner. I'm a very big fan of Chewie, so I'm going to choose Chewie. And as you can see here, what it's doing right now, it is basically listing everything that I selected. I want to join the light side to meet Yoda. And then my partner requirement is Chewbacca, and my weapon is a polka dot lightsaber. So let's go ahead and build that out. All right, so I'm going to go here. This is the main page for Power Virtual Agents, or super chat bots, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to drill into topics, and I'm going to create a new topic. So we're going to call this Star Wars bot or combo, whatever we want to call it. And I can put in a description as well. So the first thing we want to do is put some trigger phrases in. And what this really is when somebody starts typing, as I typed in earlier, I love Star Wars, this is how PVA, Power Virtual Agent, PVA kind of sounds like a disease, right? Yeah. So anyways, Power Virtual Agents, how that's going to recognize, hey, if somebody types this in, this is the topic that we want them to be directed to. So what I used in those as trigger phrases is this guy. I want to join the dark side, or Jedi, or the Force. I'm doing a lot of copy and pasting because you guys are not interested in seeing me type stuff in. And I want to know how to use the Force, and I want to learn the Force. Keep in mind, with Power Virtual Agents, it does not have to, people do not have to type in the exact phrase. As you see, I actually typed in, I love Star Wars, and that is not even part of any of that. So the bot is smart enough to learn as people are using the bot. All right, so now that we have our trigger phrases, let's just dive right into the authoring canvas. And here we go. It's going to save my topic first, and then it's going to load my authoring canvas. And the authoring canvas is really where all the magic happens. This is where we are going to configure all of our questions and all of our messages, etc. So you can kind of see here, this is how it starts. You saw that it was basically telling me, hello, my little Padawan, I hope all is well with you. Oops. And there we go. So I'm going to just go ahead and put that in a message. You can see here I have some ability also to do a little bit of formatting. I can also put links in there, URLs, etc. But at this particular point, I just want to say the message to that particular person that's starting that chat. So what we can do here is we can ask a question, add a condition, call an action, show a message. This is what we did here. Go to another topic, or end the conversation. Obviously, if you guys remember correctly, we actually had a question that was asked, and it said, how are you planning to use the Force? So I had two different options. I had dark side or light side. So I can say there's multiple choice options. I can say dark side, and I can do another option, or I can do light side. As you can see below here, we now automatically have those conditions showing up. What that means is that if people for this particular question respond dark side, it's going to take this particular path. If they select light side, it's going to take this particular path. Now, I can actually save that response as well, and then I can use it later on, right? We all know that at the end of it, it was actually putting everything together of everything that I selected in this particular sequence. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to change this response name so I know what it is. So I'm going to say light or dark. And there we go. We just saved the variable properties right over here. We just renamed that response. So we actually said light side. So I am not going to do anything here because we don't have enough time. So it's then asking us another question. Why do you want to join the light side? Well, and I said either I want to meet Yoda because he seems cool, or I want to become a Jedi. Gee, I cannot pronounce things today. Hello. Anyways, so you guys saw earlier that I just did some multiple choice options where I actually just typed in, right, some values, but we can also use some of these preset entities is what they're called. And I actually created an entity, and then in this particular case, an entity is just a list of options that I'm using over here. So you can see here my Star Wars list has 18 items. So I'm picking that list. And then I'm going to say I'm going to select options for the user. So what do I want to use here? We said we want to meet Yoda. Let's see, this guy, I'm going to give him that option, or I'm going to become a Jedi. So I'm just going to give them two options. The nice thing when you're using these entities is if people are actually typing in a response and fingering that, so instead of typing in becoming a Jedi, they're typing in becoming a Wedai or whatever, right? The system is going to recognize that quicker. The other thing that you can do here with entities is you can also put words that are very similar to that. You can set that up as well. All right, so we have those two, and I'm going to rename that as well. I'm going to say Y light so that I actually know which response that is. All right, great. So let's close out of that. And then we're going to have two options then over here. So I'm going to select a condition here, and I'm going to say Y light is equal to meet or become a Jedi. We can do that first. That's my first option. So again, similar to what we saw up there, if people actually select become a Jedi, is going to go this way, and all other conditions, we're going to go this way. I don't even have to put the other one in here. So if we want to become we're going to go to meet Yoda because he seems cool. Now, you guys saw earlier that I actually was able to pull up a picture of Yoda. Well, you can actually also, and this is how I did that, I actually used Power Virtual Agents to go and search for that particular image, and then I pulled it back into Power Virtual Agent. So I'm going to actually call an action, which is going to be that flow that I just mentioned. And that flow is actually called, you can see it over here, already built it. That's my PVA Yoda image. So here it is. It's actually now going to show, it's now going to show that image that we have. And then what we can do then, we also kind of gotten that message, right? He is a pretty cool dude, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to say we also want to actually show a message at that same time as well. So let's just go ahead and put that in there. He is a pretty cool little green dude. We had lunch yesterday. And then what else do we have here? And then it wants us to pick a weapon. So again, we're going to ask a question. And the question was, you need to pick your weapon. Go ahead. And again, what I'm going to do is I can, again, go ahead into my Star Wars entity. Let's just go ahead and search for that. Here's my Star Wars entity. And then again, I can pick some options. So we want the red lightsaber, the blue lightsaber, the Sith sword, right? Whatever we want to pick from here, obviously. And then again, we can just go ahead. And now we can say, we can ask a question. I'm actually going to make this weapon. So I know that what people were entering in there was the weapon. And let me just see how much time I have left. I have 6 minutes left, so we're not doing that bad. So now I'm going to say, I'm going to show a message, and I'm going to say, I'm going to type here, great choice, comma, and now I'm actually going to enter whatever they picked in here. So I'm going to say what was this called? This was weapon, So weapon, whatever weapon I basically picked here. So red lightsaber, Sith sword, or whatever that one is. Whatever you put in the weapon is a great choice. And then lastly, it's going to say here, it's going to ask another question. Pick your partner. And again, we're going to go back here too. So you can see how I can very quickly build this because I already set up my entity earlier. So again, partner. Okay, I'm stuttering, but partner, it's all good. And again, I'm going to select some options. I am going to say Jar Jar Binks. Everybody hates Jar Jar Binks. Han Solo or Chewbacca, right? So we can pick those. And once those are picked, I am going to actually, again, now lastly, show a message. And I'm going to say, you're all set. This is what I have for you. And even type you. So we're going to say you want to join, right? Whatever they picked in that first one, light or dark. Then we're going to say partner. And all of a sudden I can't type anymore. Oh, that's kind of weird. Okay, you want to join the light. Partner is, and we're going to whatever they put in the partner field. And sure, let's do it above there. And your weapon is whatever they put in the weapon field. And then from here, I can just go ahead and I can say, we are going to end the conversation either by transferring it to a different agent, or we're going to end it with a survey. Now, the other thing, since I still have a couple of minutes left, wow, who knew that we could build a bot that quickly? The other thing that you can actually do, for example, right, we have here the dark side, and I'm going to ask another question. Why dark side question? What you can do is actually, I'm going to go ahead and delete this option. What I can do here is actually ask a question and then basically loop it back. So I can say, you know, I'm asking here, why the dark side? Whatever their answer is, I can, let me just go up here a little bit. I can loop this back somewhere else. So I can say it's going to continue to ask that question, or depending on their answer, I'm going to now hop over to the other side. So you can do stuff like that as well. So you can kind of see that, right? They answer a question here or there, and then it goes over here, and then it goes down below like that. All right, so that was a very quick building of a bot in 13 minutes and 15 seconds. I'm going to stop right here and see if there's any questions.
Wow. Great stuff, Dian.
Thanks, Carl. And Microsoft, right?
Obviously. Has anyone got any questions? You can raise your hand and come off and mute if you like.
Apologies, yeah, I just dropped out there, and you did that in 13 minutes, Dian.
Correct. Yep, 13 minutes and 15 seconds. I actually have a timer right here.
Wow, I just missed the bit there where you can loop it back. So you can loop a question back and keep asking it until what happens?
Until the cow comes home, come home, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can just go ahead. You can see that I just took it off of there. So you can just hit the plus button, and then you can just go ahead and just, I actually have a question in there that says, why do you want to go to the dark side? And then it says, I want to rule the universe. And then it says, well, that's kind of selfish. And then it just goes back and asks the same question again. So you can do crazy stuff like that too. Yeah.
I love this. I love that you started with what the end product looked like.
Right. It makes more sense, right? I would think. Yeah.
It did for me. I'm a bear of little brain, and it helped me to understand it. So yeah. Any
we have got John
bots
Taylor's
that
got
make
his
you
hand
feel
up.
guilty? Go on, John. Shoot.
Yeah, quick question. This looks really powerful, and I can see lots and lots of use for it in every aspect of service. What are the main learning resources for this? Are you able to provide some guidance on this?
Yeah, I actually myself did a couple of times. I did a webinar on how to get started, where which is the webinar recording is also on my blog as well. But in that webinar, I'm basically going through everything. I'm going to explain to you what topics are, what entities are, what the analytics are that come with it, how to publish stuff, how to manage it. I think that's gonna, if you kind of sit through that, which is like about an hour, I think you're gonna have a lot of knowledge. Maybe Tricia, I'm not sure if you can, because Tricia works with PVA a lot as well. I'm not sure, Tricia, if you can comment if you have other ideas. There's also Microsoft.docs sites as well that has a lot of information.
How to get up to speed with PVA?
The question was, yeah, exactly. Correct.
Yeah, pretty much just there's two things, PVA in a day, which isn't bad actually. And those documents are, to be honest, I found it on Twitter, which is, but they also have a PVA forum.
Yeah.
Just like you've got, the Power Addicts, you've also got the Power Virtual Agent group as well, and they share a lot of information. And you've also got the document, like the docs, yeah, where you can actually just go to get started, and also Microsoft Learn. Like there's so much out there.
Yeah.
Isn't there a PVA in a day as well now?
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
There's PVA in a day, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I missed that because everything dipped out for me again. Sorry.
Well, that's really helpful. Thank you very much. Thank
Sure.
you.
Super. And John, have you ever been in an 80s pop and or rock band?
Yeah, it was called Duran Duran.
Yeah, well, I thought I recognised you. Yeah.
I think I've seen you in concert.
I'm a
Right.
wild one.
I think I have too.
Do you remember me? I was on the front row at the NEC.
Yeah, thank you.
You could have also said Queen.
Well, been about.
Brilliant. Love it.
So
Any other questions for Dian?
just thank you very much, Dian. That's brilliant.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dian. That was awesome. So last but definitely not least, probably even most, we've got Vannesa with her fantastic journey with the Power Platform, which I think we're pretty excited to hear about. Vannesa, if you don't know, if you're on the call, is one of the Power Apps champions and a bit of a legend in the Power Platform. So no pressure.
I know. Let's just go back and go forward. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'll hand over.
Awesome. So my name is Vannesa Welgemoed, and I am from Standard Bank. And really where my journey began and where I start from is I'm actually, by trade, I'm a business analyst. I've been in banking for 13 years. Been at Standard Bank on and off for 10 years, and where my journey began with as a business analyst, you never think you're going to be the one person who's going to build an app. So this is a little bit around my story. For those who don't know who Standard Bank are, we are a leading banking institution in Africa, the largest by assets, and it really is one of those banks where I've always found myself going back to them. So it's really a really great work atmosphere. So where I didn't find myself was at a hackathon. So where does my story start? Really at a hackathon. Back when Power Apps was in its infant stages. So back in 2016, roughly around this time of the year, I think just a little back, we found ourselves for a team of 4. We were 3 business analysts and a project manager, yay. And we found ourselves at a very technical hack. And we wanted to solve for a business problem that we were having. So we were part of a team that were called the application rationalization team. And we were actually building, we were trying to monitor the applications that the bank had. So we had this really big brainwave that said we wanted to build an app that monitored apps. It really didn't start quite like that. We have the data, we're experts at what this information is. Let's be wild and let's join this hackathon with all these techies. I mean, we're in IT, but have I built an app? No. Let's do it. We're gonna throw our hat in and see how it goes. So we did. It was a 48-hour hack. We spent the whole evening kind of selling our idea, making our way through it. We had all our Kanbans and our idea scales, and we were going through it, and we found ourselves going through into the top 25. So what that really meant and what we saw around us was the best teams were actually those who could show a demo that worked, and we had committed ourselves before the hack to build this app in Power Apps and Power BI. So what our organization had done was they deployed Office 365 and they'd left the button on, much to our complete ecstaticism. And we said, cool, we're going to try this thing out. It's on. We can use it. Let's do it. We had not spent one iota of time learning how to build an app, and that was going to be what we did that evening. So late into the night, we didn't sleep a wink. We literally went through any blog we could find on how to build an app. The next day, we went to have a shower and we actually had a working prototype. I was so chuffed with myself. We had an awesome Power BI. We had an app that could send an email and send SMSs to the judges. Did I think I could do this before this? Never in my life did I think that this was where I was going to find myself with guys who knew how to write in C# and they were writing Java and they were talking about Hadoop, and I was like, what are we doing here? I'm not fit for this. So off we go. We do our presentation and we land ourselves in the top 5. So we go, awesome, for 2 days set of work. What do we do from here? They go, no, you've got to now build this thing properly and show our judges that you can do this and bid for the winning spot. A couple of months later, when we kind of bargained with our bosses, can we have a little bit of time here, a little bit of time there? Needless to say, end of our story is we came second in this hackathon. We were really chuffed with ourselves and we had really learned a lot around the way. What we did do as a result of that was we started sharing with the organization how Power Apps is in the organization can then help and expedite solutions. So we found ourselves, I'm going to Clinton myself, we found ourselves being approached by my now boss, and he had said, I'd really love it if you could join my team. We've deployed Office 365, but no, we want to be able to see how we can improve adoption. So naturally we said, sure, we would love to. So that day we joined a team of 2. We were 2 people, and as my slideshow shows, we just grew and grew and grew from there. So that was done without any headcounts. That was people being approached. The team was a very informal structure. And we really just grew by people like myself joining the team and saying, I've got time to offer, how can I do this? It was really great. It was great to see how we could build adoption, how we could expose the platform. And through the journey, we had to take a lot of people through what Power Apps, what the Power Platform were, how could they use Office 365, and really take them from the lowest level up until the highest level through this. Our team now constitutes of over 30 people. It looks a little different to this. We can't take a new group selfie because we're all stuck at home, but we kind of look a little bit like this still. What our team like to do is we like to have a lot of fresh learners coming into the team, and that's how we make sure that we share our knowledge. So we're a whole batch of misfits almost. We've got junior developers, we've got SharePoint administrators and experts, there are UX designers, there are, I want to say, a little bit of everybody as a mix in our team. So what's really great around the journey that we had so far was along the way we had to expose people to what the Power Platform was, where our data is sitting, and we try and really just knock down all those stigmatisms that we have around data in the cloud. How secure is it to writing an app? How do we teach people, or how do we just make them feel a little more at ease where our data is sitting, how we're managing, how we're handling it? So along using all my awesome business analysis skills and how to, to take stakeholders through a process was really what the key thing to our success was. We took people on a journey. We said, come on this journey with us, share this road with us, and we'll show you how you do this. If you had told me 5 years ago that, Vannesa, you would be building apps, you would be speaking to the likes of board members, to the likes of tellers, you would be having conversations every day around how people can build things for themselves and increase their productivity. I would never have thought that this is where I would have really been at this stage in my career. It's been an awesome journey. I think we've had a really great team. Everybody are, they're willing to learn. They want to pick it up. They want to say, how do I learn what's new? How do I solve for my business problem? But how do I train people along the way? So as a center of excellence, that's really our key job that we do. We make sure that the platform's safe, secure. We kind of tick all the boxes with the security teams, and we also tick all the boxes with business. How do we, impart our knowledge with them? How do we share our journey with them, how they could be building apps in a better manner? So where did this all start from? Give you a little bit of an idea. When I joined the team, the very first app that we built was with business, and it was built with our team by business, and we deployed this in 2 weeks. This app till today is still running. It's still going, pretty much looks pretty much the same. We actually demoed it the other day because we have other areas in the bank across the Africa regions who are interested in the same application, but maybe for their own purpose. So to today, this app is managed by business. It's got more than 300 users. We've had more than, at the time, 5,000 to 6,000 inspections reports that go through here monthly. And it is owned by our business users, which was a really, really great achievement. And it was really good to see how people embrace the product and how they changed the way that they did work and think about data and think about how they could solve for their problems and productivity as well. So where do I see and find myself today? We also have, on the opposite scale, is we've got our COVID Connect app, which is across the, I want to say, 90% of our organizational base. We've got 41,000 users on this single app. With the help of the community, I deployed this in 2 days, and then I had to sit and listen how business wanted this change and this change and this change, and I just said, whoa, we're going to do little bits at a time. Let's get it out. Let's get it working with your MVP. And then we will take it as this pandemic unfolds. We've got more than 10,000 active sessions or daily users that use this app. And really, it's been a journey to see how not only the Power Platform, but productivity has grown inside the organization, how people have grown through it, and the journey that we have been on. I think if it wasn't for the people, I want to say the communities that we have out there, the communities that we have inside the organization, we wouldn't see the amount of growth in the platform. We wouldn't see the amount of really cool and productivity things that have been solved for in such an easy manner. So where we're going from here is to help the organization build bots, across Azure, across Power Virtual Agents, how we use RPA, and where we can use the best of the pick across the Microsoft suite that meets business needs. So I think that is me in a nutshell. It's been a whirlwind tour for me, but I think what I do today is really empower users. We manage the platform. It's really awesome. And I don't think that there's anybody who's got a cooler job than me. That's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I loved that. What a massively diverse team you had. You even had a guy in a Blood Brothers t-shirt. So well done.
Love my team.
That's awesome. And I also loved what you said about getting the minimum viable product out, because I think so many times I see people wanting something to be perfect before
Yes.
putting it out, and that's not the way around to go. Well, what are your thoughts? Obviously, you're from the get the MVP out, but how do you handle that situation as well?
Yeah, so I think for us, because we had the mindset that the pandemic's here, we didn't know what the rules were, how you don't actually know the future. So I just from our side, we said we've deployed this. If it wasn't for the community and there being this this template that we could just deploy and have here for you to see this, this would have taken us a lot longer to put these things down, because they didn't have a clue or base to go from. So the way that we then kind of manage it with business, it said this is a real need. We can spend a lot of time changing this, but they also saw that we needed to respond quickly. So we just said, cool, what would you like us to do? I said, and we kind of gave them time frames. We said, if you like option A, this will take us 2 days to do. It's deployed, and we can test it. If we do option B, it's going to take a little bit more work. That's a week on. We've already been 2 weeks into the pandemic. Are you sure that you want to take this long to put this in? And that's kind of like an open, honest conversation with our business stakeholders, where we say, we know the capabilities of the suite. We know how long it's going to take to do something. Do you want to temper your requirements and just go, what can we do for now? And then we'll build on it. And that's really how we've managed the project, is to say, as requirements change, we would go, give me a priority of what you want. And everybody always wants the kitchen sink when you say, I can do it in a day. And then you just roll them back and you say, cool, I can do these 5 things. Which one's priority? And I'll do these 2 for you by this date, and then we'll take it from there. And invariably, things change, and we got to go, okay, was this the right response? Let's data lead the next move that we need to make. So it is being open, it's honest, it's taking them on a journey, and it's saying, this is how you can do it smarter.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Yeah, like that's just good advice for life, not just for power ups. Actually, it's like, yeah, we can do this now, or you can have that in a week's time, or giving people the options and letting them choose what's a priority for them to get done now. Does anybody else have any questions for Vannesa?
I have a question. The amount of usage you had. Yes. Are you just using the COE tools, or a subset or a superset of those to monitor your applications, etc.?
So it is what keeps most of my time busy at some points as well. Being a bank, we have got very restrictive permissions and profiles. So yes, I've got a subset of the COE toolkit deployed. But I've also got some side capabilities that I have going that I've built in Power Automate. I think I've got flows coming out of my ears that monitor things and pull things together. So pieces of the COE toolkit we have deployed, and we are using that to monitor our app usage. But alongside that, we're complementing it with bespoke things that we've kind of implemented and put in. The reason why some of our COE pieces aren't working is because of our restrictions in terms of from a security point of view. So I supplement those by monitoring it on individually and then taking action. So we have a team that goes through, based on some action we may identify, and then engages with business users or business stakeholders and says, you've built this app, we've noticed it's doing this. Maybe we should have a bit of a conversation around how you're doing that and why you're doing that. But definitely the COE toolkit has helped that visibility that we wanted in terms of our app usage. Our bank is, because it's so big, we always like to have our own set of how we like our reports run. So we always like to have our own view that we like to put on things as well.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Joe has a question as well. Where's the backend data stored for the app, SharePoint or CDS?
We are using SharePoint.
Yay!
So,
Oh, please, Joe, no end.
both the ATM app as well as the COE, the COVID Connect app, as well as when I said, I was building some of those flows on the side outside of the COE toolkit. We use SharePoint, and I said we had SharePoint administrators on our side and in our team. We utilize those resources to make sure that our information is secure. We are complying with data security. I've got my rubber stamp on my app from my security and my governance that says my app is cool. So I was very chuffed. It went through compliance as well, and we are keeping things on SharePoint. Obviously, you've got to make sure that those robust processes that you have inherently in CDS, which is really awesome, you want to make sure that you mimic those in an environment such as SharePoint. And that's what we spend our time on, making sure those things are chugging along, but you've got to implement them yourselves. So part of those MVPs is making sure those rules are in place.
Very cool. Very cool. Anybody else got any questions? Hands up in the air on Teams. No more?
John
Super.
Taylor again.
Oh, John, question? Or are you just being sarcastic about CDS costing? Okay.
Do we export our source control?
Sorry?
There's a question, do you export your source control?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I just saw that. So Vannesa, do you export source control?
So do we? We explored it. So really, we are looking at how we can implement the DevOps across our platform. So we are exploring what would be the best way to make sure that we've got iterative coding and controlled code deployments for the COVID Connect app. I do a bit of a manual dump of my code. I do a little bit of an export just to make sure I've got version control. But across the bank, we are using solutions to manage our apps as well as multiple environments. And we are looking at how we can ensure that we use a DevOps pipeline to manage our code as well. So we're exploring the various options. And as we've said before, in terms of our internally, we're dealing with users from a teller in the branch to a developer in IT. You've got to make sure that both of those types of people can use the platform and understand the concepts. So we're going to build very bespoke solutions or processes that both of those people can follow in order to control their source code.
Very cool. Okay. And Keith, do you want to chime in about ALM?
Yeah, I mean, ALM's changing come October, so part of the thing is the connector references. So there's going to be way more granular control over your connectors. So your connection references will export with your solution, and you'll be able to use, from what we've been told, environment variables to specify what those connectors connect to. So that gives us the opportunity across all connectors, including SharePoint, to connect to different lists, for example. So you could turn around and say, like, here's my dev list, here's my test list, here's my prod list. So that's massively powerful, because at the moment it's really only CDS and Dynamics connectors and sort of not even your F&O stuff that's really got that built into it. So that should support all 360 odd whatever it is by come October connectors, and it'll be a real boon for ALM, but I suggest you go and have a look at admin in a day, because there's a little course, and if you're lucky enough to get it working, it's a bit murky with multi-factor authentication and all that kind of stuff. You've got to do a little bit of Azure if you want to do it with a key and all that kind of palaver. But there's a really good tutorial on it in that that walks you through creating a pipeline, creating the steps, doing whatever command line bits need doing. So it's pretty good.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for that. So unless anybody else has any questions, we'll just do a lovely round of applause for Vannesa and also for Dian, because I forgot to do it at the end of her session. So apologies for that. And also for Tricia, just let's clap. Let's give everyone the clap, as they say.
Yay!
Yay! So thank you so much to all of our wonderful speakers this evening. Super interesting content from all three of you. Thank you so much for sharing your stories with us. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to get their socials there. And hopefully Carlos has got a slide for us of everything that's up and coming. So the Virtual Power Group have got a Let's Build Power Apps night on the 24th of August, which is next Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Christ, Monday. Is it Monday the 20? Yeah, it is Monday. If you haven't been to any of the Virtual Power Group nights, they're great. They are super accessible. Paddy does a lot of Paddy Byrne does a lot of sessions on there, and for me personally, I find his stuff super easy to follow along with, and they're very inclusive and interactive sessions. So do please go ahead and join those guys. On the 29th, we've got the community hack for Black Minds Matter, which is like Tricia has done such an enormous amount of work organising a whole month's worth of activities with the Black Minds Matter charity this month in August. So I'm surprised that she's managed to stay awake for this hour because she's literally doing so much. Go on.
Can you make sure you reach out to, if you've got that available on that Saturday available, that you come and help and reach out to Chris or Tricia or any of those guys to get yourselves booked in. Will, or Kyle.
In fact, Carl, do you have a link or anything that you can pop into the
I
chat?
don't think there's a sign up, Tricia.
Okay.
Tricia will tell us. She's probably typing it.
Yeah, there's no actual sign up. Just reach out, because it's not like a global hack as normal, because we're trying to keep it more community based to make sure that we actually do turn up, because you're going to be hacking with the mentees and they really need people to actually turn up. So just reach out if you're interested to Chris, Will, or Kyle, and they'll basically get you on the list and get you set up.
Yeah, awesome. So all of you, by being on this happy hour tonight, have volunteered, and you'll all be taking part. So
I've reached.
Awesome.
I've already reached.
Hooray! Thank you, Cheryl. You can always rely on Cheryl.
Good old Cheddar.
Good old Cheddar. Then on the 5th of September, we've got Power Apps Portal Saturday. There's some brilliant speakers and brilliant content going on there as well. So definitely worth a look in. Then Dynamics Con on the 9th and 10th of September. Again, there's some fantastic content. There's loads of content, obviously, across 2 days. There's tons of content. So definitely go and register for that. Get your sessions organised, etc. 10th of September, there is also the Power Apps, Power Automate London group. That's you, is it not, Keith? He's gone silent.
That is me. That is me.
You. Who's speaking for you in September?
I actually going to say pass.
Oh, okay. You let Laura organise it, did you? Okay, all right, fine. No worries. And then
he's just the eye candy.
He's just there to look pretty. So 14th of 18th of September, we've got Deutschland. See, it's a German theme. Deutschland Dynamics Powerthon. That's awesome. So go and click on the link, have a look at what's going on, or you can't click on the link, sorry. Go and have a look at what's going on at events.powercommunity.com. Loads of interesting stuff there. Our next Power Platform Virtual Happy Hour on the 22nd. I thought that clashes with something. Oh, Microsoft Ignite, as you can see. Are we still
We haven't made a decision.
Okay. Well, so far.
But at the moment it does.
And then we've got Ignite, which is obviously sadly an online event, which is a shame. But nonetheless, some excellent content there. 365 Saturday Warsaw, that's epic. So glad to see that on our calendar. And on the 17th of October, Power Platform Centre of Excellence Saturday, which I'm sure more than one or two people from this session will probably be going to. So if you have a session or anything coming up and you want to get a shout out from the Power Platform Virtual Happy Hour team, you can let Carlos know. Please do fill in the survey. We don't do any prizes or anything. You just get the joy of having helped us to decide content moving forward. We do appreciate honest feedback as well. So if you thought something was shit, then say so. Usually me, that's normally what we get the bad feedback on. So I have very thick skin, we can take it.
I'm hoping for positive feedback for Lee not being here this week.
Yeah, well, you know, if camping is more important, then fine. And please, probably I would imagine most of you here are already on the mailing list. If you're not, please do sign up, because you'll get an invite with a calendar invite, sorry, every month for the next happy hour, and you will also get a recording automatically sent to you of the session afterwards. So if you can't make it for whatever reason, at least you'll get a copy of the recording afterwards. So I think that is about it. All that's left for me to do is to say thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to our wonderful speakers for their fantastic demos and sessions and stories. And I look forward to seeing you all again on the 22nd of September. And I'm going to stop the recording now. So if you all want to start swearing at each other, then you're more than welcome to. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.
Stop sharing my screen.